Yo, what's good guys, Venom Fire here back from the video, and today we're going to be bringing you guys another lockdown defense in Madden 22. Now this defense has been probably one of the best matches that I've found this year. It's really good, and you can actually disguise very effectively out of it. I'll show you guys all of that once we get into it, but we're going to be in the Chicago Bears defensive playbook, and we're back in this formation. You guys have liked when we ran this formation, this 3-3-5 will. We've gone over a variety of plays in it. Whether it's this or the 2-4-5, they're pretty much the same. We've gone over quarters, cover 6, and I think some other ones as well, cover 9 potentially. But we're going to talk about the cover 6 invert today. So we're going to show you guys some of the best ways to run that, and overall, once again, how to disguise coverages and how to adjust better out of it. Now, I did make a video a little bit ago on this play, and it was out of the 2-4-5, but it was the same cover 6 invert. But we're going to show some new ways to run it because there was a big change that I didn't talk about. So you can actually combine those two videos. I'll probably leave the other one linked down below in the description. But it is a completely different way to run it in a big change. And it's going to be to actually flip your cover 6 invert. So we are actually going to run it flipped just like this with your slot cornerback not on the bunch side. So you're going to come out in it with your cover 4 to the weak side, whereas the bunch is going to be on the right. Your slot corner should be on the left side, of course. We're going to go ahead and sub in some safeties there at the linebacker position, get some more speed out on the field. But once again, you're going to run this with auto flip off probably so that you don't get that auto flip. So once again, here we are out on the field. Kind of what I'm talking about is now you see slot cornerback, which is Jalen Ramsey. In this case, he is going to be on that left side to the running back side, not to the bunch side. If you had auto flip on, he would go to that right side. So it's a big change there. And you'll see why we do that in a little bit. Now, we're going to, of course, start out by showing the play stock and pretty much what that looks like. Now, I like to do a couple of things. I'm going to pinch my linebackers and my defensive line. I just like the way that these guys shed when they're compressed. Also will help for run defense purposes. So we're going to do that. Now, talking about who we can use probably two different guys here. It's going to be either your 3 receiver hook or your vert hook. We'll start out by using the vertical hook because it is not a match zone, whereas the 3 receiver hook will match on 2 different routes. So we'll use the vert hook first. Going to go against a stock verticals look. We're going to start out by defending RB, then going to A, and then going back down to Y. You see the coverage is not perfect. There is usually one small hole in this, and that's going to be the flat to the right. We'll show that play art once again. And again, I can kind of do different things, which will show different things that I like to do to stop a gun bunch offense. But we'll go into those later. Again, showing it stock. This is just stock 4 verticals. And you see you're usually going to have to choose between A and Y. You can kind of do a decent job of lurking. You want to stay on A for a little bit, then go down to Y. It's probably your best bet. But you see there is a hole. So the first way to address that is going to be, we're going to throw this defensive end. He's actually a D end over here. This player is considered a linebacker, interesting enough. You see the adjustments. And this player is considered a defensive end. That's why it still has the 3-3-5 name. But you're just going to throw him in a hard flat to start out, and that's what we're going to do. So this will stop the verticals play. Of course, you're just going to go ahead and take A with your user, but the hard flat actually does a really good job of almost allowing us to be able to user that deeper crosser. Let's take a look at the replay. Take a look at this hard flat. This is a stock hard flat, and this is what you want to have. You don't want to have zone drop set because that'll cancel your match, but you see the coverage pretty dang good. Now this player, I'm not sure why he should be defended decently well. Your curl flat, of course, you can't really expect that to match onto the wheel route. So in normal situations, you're just hoping your deep half takes that, but that's not open in that situation. But again, if you notice that getting a little bit open, that's where we might make an adjustment. Now, until he notices that, and again, most people won't throw that wheel route, but if he notices, that might be the only spot that's open for a gain. But again, we're going to throw A in this hard flat to start out with. And again, the good thing is we have extra potential guys to make this adjustment with because we have like an extra vert hook. Again, I can use one of these 2 guys. We just would prefer having the extra help. So again, here's the setup. We're going to run verticals, and you guys, like I mentioned, I said I could actually take RB with my user because A, he might have a little bit of a window. If he's throwing it, then I can user it, but RB might be the main guy who would be open here in a further back down in distance situation. Now, moving on to some of the other options that we can rock with. Now, the first being we can go ahead and man up the tight end with this defensive end. That would be your first option instead of a hard flat. And now maybe against a verticals look, I take the flats with Brandon Bolden here, and you see everything else will be taken away well. That's the first thing that we can go ahead and do. The second thing that we can do is we can actually go with a situation where if I notice B getting open, and this could be the same case scenario, maybe a corner out's getting open, whatever play's running, I'm going to go verticals, and we're actually going to move the ball here or try to respot it. I don't know why it's not letting me respot right now, but we're just going to go to the hash mark. And again, we'll just run verticals against this play stock and kind of show what it would look like. Here's a traditional vertical setup. We'll snap the ball. And I believe B would get some separation, which you see he's kind of open. Mac Jones doesn't have Gunslinger, and that was not the best time, but it is a little bit open. If you have, again, we mentioned it earlier, if you have a problem with that, we can do one of two different things. Our first thing being we can go ahead and man up this curl flat on B, and then we'll throw Leonard Floyd here in the curl flat. Now, again, we're back to square one where our weak spot of the defense is going to be the flats. But if you notice your opponent going with maybe a setup like this, then maybe we go ahead and man up Y on A. We just man up two players, and then what we're doing is we're using the running back with ourselves, which Jalen Ramsey kind of takes. He's not going to be there, but you see there, now we have some good coverage. Unironically, the player that was manned up on the delay fade was actually, what even happened with our coverage there? We'll take a little closer look. Yeah, the player who was manned up with the tight end kind of stood there. I thought Leonard Floyd on the curl flat actually does a really good job. So when there's no other zones, he should take away the running back route kind of the way he did. And it only helps from the defensive end spot. But if RB were on a corner out in that situation, he would get open. So again, it's difficult to make these adjustments. Defense is not going to be easy out of this. Now, if we want to play completely safe, let's say we want to add some zones to this, which would more or less turn it into a cover 4 deep zone, but we could go inside third here potentially with Burgess, and then with here I'm going to go probably, you can't really go outside third. That's where it's a tough situation, so we could just go deep half heavy, or maybe, which it's kind of weird because, again, B is your deep half, which is, again, normally A is the deep half, so we could go with A, probably a outside quarter, and then here we're going to go curl flat. So here would be your play art potentially. Now, I know that might be a little bit confusing, but you're just making 3 backside adjustments, including that linebacker and then those 2 guys on the right. So this would be kind of back to your square one situation. And with this, I can still go ahead and put A in the hard flat zone or man him up. So this would be your coverage. In this, with verticals, of course, everything is going to be completely defended well. We're going to roll out, and you notice with B, nothing open, curl flat, and quarter on him. So that would be a good example of something you can do if you notice him trying to take the top off. So once again, that setup was to put A in an inside third, put A, the cornerback, in an outside quarter, and then put B in the curl flat zone. So here's it. You can also move Burgess back if you want to. And then again, you still have 4 pass rushers. I could run the stock and still, take away most things. Now you notice A and Y, which usually is the case, are going to be the people that, are going to be your main guys. This year and always in Madden, the running back and the tight end are the most thrown to people. So those are usually the guys I'm going to man up. So if I don't have to hard flat, that's what I'm going to man up, and then I'm just going to use the running back with myself. And I know I'm only running the verticals play. Verticals is the best play in the game. So that's why we're doing it. We're showing good ways to stop it. It pretty much has everything underneath. Good wheel, good deeper wheel, and then you have a crosser. So just really good play, which is the reason we're in it mainly. Now here we're going to go back to some of the ones we've only ran once. I know I wanted to show these more than one time, and that's going to be the man up setup. So you go here, and then again with A, you manned him up on the tight end, I believe, and then we went ahead and threw A in the curl flat. So here was your coverage for this setup. It might have been a little bit different, but kind of the same concept. Still 3-man rush, which again, right here, what are you taking? Again, this inside quarter, he's going to defend the crosser. So our man's going to be I think that's Brandon Bolden. Am I correct about that? No, it's actually Stevenson, so my bad. But realistically, Ramsey could take Y, but even if we move him inside, I don't think he's playing him the best, which you notice he actually ends up backing up. But this is really good coverage. Again, I would normally take RB in this case because Y is more or less defended pretty dang well by that curl flat, but again, this is going to do a good job. 3-man rush, it's not going to be the best. So there's always going to be holes in the defense. You're never going to get a really good defense, in regards to him having someone open. He's usually always going to have someone open. If you can take that away with your user, take away 2 things, then you're in a good situation. But I mean, really, most plays he'll have at least one person open. That's a determination of him having the right abilities, him making the right read, him having the right timing. So if one of those things goes wrong, then you have a perfect defense. But going to some of the other plays, we'll try and set up maybe like a flood concept just to show this against. Now, flood historically is really good against match, but when you actually run this from because you have the curl flat on this side, it should be pretty well defended. We're just going to, again, kind of run it like this, and you notice it's pretty, nothing's really open, which is good. The main guy that's open is that fade route, but your deep half should realistically be able to make a play on that. Now, flood, if we flip it, it'll torches the cover 4 side every time, but running it like this, now flood is not even an option to make. And again, with my user, you actually notice I usually will take the flat here, but I mean, nothing's really open. And again, I mean, is Kendrick Bourne really open here? No. I mean, with a good click on, that's an easy interception with any kind of speed at the safety position. It's a click on interception. So you should be fine there. I mean, again, it's not match coverage on the right side, so no zone is going to match onto anyone over there. So that's something you got to recognize. If you want match coverage, again, watch that other video. I show this play from the other side flipped, and I think it could really help you guys if you want to maximize the value of your play and maximize the confusion that you can create with it. But again, I really like this setup. Might actually audible down to show some of the other plays. Let's go with like a random play like a spacing switch. Now, a spacing switch, one of the more popular setups out of this that you will always see online, which I don't know what's going on with this controller. Something is broken, but I can't even snap the ball here. So probably reset. All right, we're back out here, and here's the setup that I've seen a lot online recently. It's RB on a slant and that kind of setup. Now, what you're going to do is, we'll show it stock first, but it should be, again, kind of well defended, which I can't even snap the ball still. That's great. Now we're going to snap it. I don't know what's going on, but again, you see, I mean, B is a little bit open. We can adjust all those things. RB, a little bit of space, but again, it's pretty well defended, and you can adjust, take away all of these things simply by a hard flatting, which will take away the out route. Again, you would hope that RB is taken away better. Here's a look at its stock, and again, oh, this is still verticals, but I mean, coverage pretty good. All right, so now we're back in that spacing setup. Once again, you can hard flat, you can man up the tight end, but this should be pretty good coverage on that, and this would still be good coverage against verticals, as we've seen. Now, again, realistically, in this situation, you're probably going to have to take the tight end, I would assume, with your user, because you now don't have anything else there, but you'll take away the tight end, the slant. Jalen Ramsey actually matches on, smoke screens defended, so that is a very good way to run that coverage. We'll show that again. And these are just random plays. We're going from verticals to spacing switch, and we're still defending it perfectly with the exact same setups. That just shows the power of this play, and that might not be something that you could actually do out of the cover 6 invert flipped, but doing it from this side, you have a lot more freedom to adjust over there, and routes on the right side should not be an issue. Routes on the left will be matched on. I just think it's a better way to run it, and I've actually seen more people run it this way. So again, I could actually man up A. We can hard flat, and now maybe I take away RB or B with my user. Realistically, is B a pass that they're looking to throw to? Probably not. I know when I run this play, I'm not looking for B immediately, so I don't even know if I would expect them to run that play. You could also maybe press. If I want to press, I could bring this defender down, and that could help. So now we man up here. Once again, we go with maybe spacing switch, which again, there's corner out plays. There's other good plays in this, but again, the majority kind of the same where they get taken away. So I guess the curl flat, again, doesn't really do much. You wouldn't necessarily expect him to do a whole lot, but I guess that proves our point that he doesn't. But yeah, I mean, you've seen a lot of ways to adjust this. I've shown a lot. Realistically, you could also vert hook B. You could do different things. Man him up on the running back. You can man up X on the running back. You can put X on a vert hook. You can do different things against formations. I know not everybody runs bunch, but that's going to do it for the video. If you enjoyed, drop a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel down below, and peace. I'm out of here.